Hello everyone and welcome to part 4 of the NJ Rail Network project. I hope you're all well and staying safe. So at the beginning of this project I set out to achieve a fully automatic rail network here in Stormworks. Now on paper this was a simple plan, however it turned out to be completely the opposite. So here in part 4 we'll be looking at the current state of the project, what's been completed, what's been done, what's been updated, what's still in the works, and finally what you can expect for future updates and also maybe when this will come to the workshop. Now if you're enjoying this video, comment below and what else you'd like to see any of my future videos. While you're there, don't forget to like and subscribe button and make a little bell icon to be notified about upcoming content as soon as it gets posted. So with that all said, let's get straight into and get started with this video. So to start, we're here at Terminal Spy Cakes. Now you probably noticed that nothing is actually spawned in. That's because currently at the moment I've been working on actually getting everything set up correctly in the missions and environmental mods so that we can finally actually probably get this onto the workshop within the next couple of weeks. So the first thing is that I've been working on is the actual stations themselves. Now luckily what we've done is we've actually created one mission that all you have to do is literally spawn in. It's only environmental mods. What that does is literally goes and spawns all the stations in. With them they've also got the terminal screens. We have the actual GPS blocks inside there to actually stop the trains. So we have got pretty much everything built into this environmental mods, and the nice thing is that this environmental mod actually covers a whole bunch of different stations. So it covers Terminal Spy Cakes, it covers Komodo Terminal, it's got the North Harbor on Sawyer Islands, and it's also got the Arctic line. So it's got all those different stations already built in, we're ready with their GPS blocks. Luckily also they're not keep active. There's only one thing that is keep active, and that's the actual GPS block at the different stations. Everything else is only spawning once you're getting there. So hopefully it will keep performance down, and that's been a real hard challenge for me, is trying to get performance to be very stable. So we've been working on that quite a bit. But as you can see here, we've got the stations, we've got the platform numbers that we've added in, and we've actually got the screens themselves now. This was here in the last video. I've made a few changes and a few tweaks to them as we've gone on. Still have the map screen. I've just obviously brought that out a little bit further so you can see a little bit further. And we've also got the actual destinations and the time. I've added the time in there so you can actually see what time it is now in the current game, which is pretty cool. We still have the expected, the platforms, the different lines. You can see the Arctic Express. Yes, the Arctic Express does come to this line. Number one, it does work. But one thing I have done is I've added a sorting feature on here. So it actually goes and sorts these. So for example, if we were at a platform or a station where there's three different lines, the Arctic line would be dropped down to the third one and you would get your second line there, and so on and so forth. So it actually does sort it quite well and quite cool, and we'll see that in a few minutes when we go to Komodo Terminal. So that's pretty much it for the actual environmental mod, the mission, the core to this whole NJ Rail network. And this is a thing that I'm going to be working on more and obviously updating as we go in the future, adding different features to the core element or the core part of this mission. Now, the nice thing is that I've gone and also created separate missions for the trains. So at the moment we have the two lines, we have the tube line, and we also have the HST line, which is the Sawyer line. And the easiest way to get those in is simply all we have to do is open up our map, go to missions, click on new mission, and we literally can go and select the train we want. So for example, I want to go and select the London stock train. I can select it, I can spawn it in, and now that train is ready for us to use on this. So you can see now we have all the information. If we go into the train, so we first need to go and start turning everything on. So go turn the electric on the front cab, and we'll go turn the electric on the back cab here. Perfect. And then we can literally go and get into the driver's seat, and we can start the automation process. So master on, slave on, everything on. You can see it's arrived now. The doors have gone and opened up, and you can see arrived for, it's on the map here. This will start to beep in a couple seconds when it's ready to leave. So it does its countdown, which is quite nice. So it actually gives players a little bit of a warning. It also beeps once the train arrives. That's something new I've added on. Let's go and get in it. You can hear the alarms going off, and we can go sit in it. So this gives you the ability to have whichever trains you want on the line. If you don't want the tube line, get rid of it. If you don't want the HST line, get rid of it. You don't have to spawn them in. So you can either have all three, you can only have two, you can have one. It's completely up to you on what lines you want for the NJ Rail Network project. Now, talking about that while we're on the way over to Komodo is I will be, once we get the Arctic line done, I will actually be releasing obviously all of this, and along with it I'll also be adding in to the workshop the logic for all of this. And that's another thing I've been working on, is that we can have the ability now for any player to go and take that logic pack. It's going to be, I think, 2 microprocessors and a couple of radios, and all they'll have to do is literally just add it onto their creation, and then they can use any train they want for this exact line. So I think that's really cool and gives a lot of customization to this whole project, is that you don't have to use these specific trains on the rail network. You could use any trains you want to. So I like that feature, and as I said, I've been working on that for a while. While we're on the way here to the next station, what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually just going to load up a brand new game, and I'm going to spawn in at Komodo because I want to show you another way of how this mission works. So you can see we're over here at Komodo Terminal now. We're going to do exactly the same thing. Like I said earlier, the whole network runs around having the core mission, which is the rail network. So we can just go to our mission editor again. We can go and spawn this in. And this will obviously, as I said earlier, go and spawn all the stations at all the different locations. You can see our station has already been loaded in here. No trains have been loaded in, which is, I think, the real beauty, so you can select what trains you want. You can see if we go to the station screens, we can see the mainland and the Sawyer Islands. These are the only 2 lines that stop here. The Arctic line is not here anymore, so I've got that automatic sorting feature there, which I think is pretty cool. Now, for example, let's say if you're a player and you only want the HST line in. Once again, like we did with the tube line, we just simply have to go to our missions, go and choose the HST line. So if we go to, there we go, British class HST, spawn it in, and you'll see now in a couple seconds, it's just gone and dropped it in. Just like that. Of course, we still need to go through the normal procedure. Like we did with the other train, we need to go and hit some electricity on all of the cars here. These are diesel ones, so we need to get everything started up. You can see here, we'll just go inside, we'll get the screens and everything on. Great. We can then exit, go to the rear car, and do exactly the same thing, and we can start the automation process again. You can see everything is still off at the moment. That's because we haven't got this first cab on, so let's go ahead and get there. And let's get to seats. Also have addressed that there was one issue that a lot of players were complaining about, is that they weren't able to get into the cars. So we have added some extra steps there, which helps a little bit getting in and out of the cars. So now that we spawned this one in, we can literally just go and jump in. Go, and once again, master slave, auto stop all stations. And you'll notice the train has now stopped. The little beeping sound has gone and turned on. Doors have gone and opened up. We can go and check. Obviously, you can see it says arrived. Got 6:50 on the map here. We can obviously go and get into one of the cars. So you can see we're in now. We can go and take a seat. Another cool feature that I've gone and added in is the speed. So I know a lot of comments came in about, please can you add the speed into the cars? We've done that now. So as you're moving along, and you'll see in a couple seconds when we start moving from the station, the speed actually shows you know how fast you're traveling, which I think is pretty cool. And a lot of people were saying, oh, you should add this in, you should add this in. So we've gone and added in. You'll see it's going to start increasing up, and eventually we're going to head over to Sawyer Islands. As it says here, that's the next stop on this line. You can obviously check by looking on the outside. North Harbour, Sawyer Islands is our next stop, and everything else is more or less the same on the HST. I haven't really made much more changes. The car is still the same. The engine is the same. We still have our keypad access door. You can see the code here is 650. So we can go and get in. Moving through the engine room, double check on the engines if we need to, and then go to the electrical panel where we were earlier, open the front door, and you can see we're in the front now. And if you want to, we can even sit here. We don't need to change any controls because everything is pretty much as it is. You can see we're just coming past a station. This actually doesn't stop at the station. As you can see, it's a direct line over to Sawyer Island, so we just go straight through it. And yeah, those are pretty much the updates. Trying to think what else we've had. I have had this on the server. It's created more challenges than it has done joy, to be honest. There's just so many issues with dedicated servers, syncing issues. I spent a couple good days trying to get it working and trying to get it to the best performance I could. I actually have a completely different version of this train for the actual dedicated server. We're still getting issues with things despawning and not syncing properly. So I do put it on the server every now and then for you guys to join. Those of you that have already played with it, you guys know it's absolutely awesome and fun, and it does work. It just does have its flaws every now and then, and that's just dedicated server problem. As soon as you put it in single player like we're in now, or if you put it into P2P, so peer-to-peer hosted multiplayer, it works flawlessly and there's no issues at all. But as soon as it goes onto dedicated servers, for some reason it does not work. It works, but just not all the time. And you can see as we're moving along, we're still changing tracks. We're still obviously going along, and you can actually see we got our top speed here, 125 at the moment on this track. So yeah, that's pretty much about it for updates so far. The major thing has been actually getting this to a state where I could probably upload it to the workshop. As I said, core is the mission. The mission itself, with all the stations, the GPS, radio blocks, and the screens that are all automatic. And then you get to choose what train you want to add in. If you want to add the tube line, if you want to add the HST line, or if you want to add the Arctic line. As I said, Arctic line is still work in progress. There is currently a challenge on my Discord server and on my YouTube, guys. If you want to enter that in, go check out all the rules and all the information about that. It's really fun. Everyone's building trains at the moment. It's a lot of fun that we managed to get everyone to do that. And yeah, so the flexibility of this network, I would like to expand it more, and I really hope the devs go and add some more railway in the game. At the moment, we're so limited, unfortunately. We've got like the Arctic and Sawyer and mainland, and that's pretty much the only network that we have. If we had more islands connected, or if we had some more railway around the Soy Islands, I would be able to create some much more network projects. As I said, I'm still working on this project, so there will be another part to this video series, guys. Don't worry about that. But I am going to start working on some new missions for railways soon, so definitely keep an eye out on the channel below. But you guys let me know in the comments what else you think we should add onto this network project. If you think anything else should be built on it, or any other type of logic system should be built in it, and then also what type of missions you guys would like to see in the future. I'm thinking of doing some more missions, so some more railway work, deliver stuff, go pick up passengers, etc. So let me know in the comments below, of course, if you liked the video or if you didn't, and also what you think I should add in for the future. So I think we'll go ahead and end today's video over there. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and found it entertaining and informative as always. And we'll see you in the next one.